Hello all, welcome to another session of Dragon Warriors, and kind of an interlude this week, because there's some lead-in stuff before we can start playing the next sort of mini campaign. So, let's just get right into it. Alright, so you returned to Faramane and got your affairs there back in order and reordered your equipment and had a good long rest. Gerd has taken to working in the stables very well. You seemed keen on getting him tutors and things to get him a proper education. He's a bit confused and would much rather just stick with the horses, but he's grateful to be here and to be fed and to have a roof over his head, so he's taking to his lessons as best he can. You were also looking into providing security in Erewon, which, for all that you've returned it to some kind of normality, is still somewhat prey to the depredations of bandits, leftovers from Rimfax's corruption, and other issues. You've paid out quite a bit in terms of mercenary contracts and so on. Baron Aldred has basically stepped in as regent, swearing to God and King that he will not usurp the rightful ruler should they re-emerge. But this hasn't quite... So it hasn't quite been enough to fully secure Erewon, and so Aldred has decided to organise a tournament as a way of drawing in knights errant, adventurers, any young knights wanting to make a name for themselves, mercenaries from the soldiers who are back from the Crusades, that sort of thing, to bring them all together in one place to celebrate the arts martial, and to find some good recruits to sort of lead and handle the area for him and for you. You are, of course, invited. And in plenty of time, given the travel times in this world. So, yeah, you're invited to attend, and if you wish to participate in the great tournament of Erewon.
Yeah, this sounds like your kind of gig, airline. Hey,
indeed, but.
We could take Gerd, he can be your squire.
Surely you're the sort to be interested in a tournament as well.
No, killing interests me. Playing, not so much.
Tournament is it's quite like killing. It's
blunted weapons and pulling your blows, or very sort of chivalric and gentlemanly. Nah.
People who fight in tournaments are the best of the best. Don't you want to prove your skill against them?
I don't think they'll really appreciate my talents such as they are, but I'll be there certainly.
I see. You're simply concerned that you might lose.
Well, so how many demons have I sent back to their plane of resistance? I think 2 so far, and not dead yet.
Don't worry. I won't let the others know that you're scared.
I want to see you up on your horse, tilting, and I want to see your fat ass hit the ground like a sack of poo.
It's rude.
At least she's honest.
Also, we can make some money too. Apart from recruiting, we can sell some of our seconds and goods and chattels.
I thought you were going to say we should gamble. That is a sin. I should not gamble my money.
No, like, we'll bring still some of the 15,000 magical swords that we have in our possession.
I don't think we've got that many, but we do have a wide variety. Come and have a look at this. +3 sword.
I think we have at least 2 magical weapons each, which like a main and a spear. But even so, we've got serious amounts of kit that we don't necessarily need.
I'm not selling the spear. I'm kind of like devoted to giving that to the boy when he comes of age.
Yeah,
and probably
yes,
the gauntlet as well.
Yeah, that'll be his totem of authority in every respect.
Hit them with the gauntlet, and if they don't respect, just spike them with the spear.
What do you think's so important about the spear?
Well, it's of his homeland, isn't it? So make a fitting kingly weapon, I think.
Have we been able to find out any more about it?
About the spear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an ancestral weapon from the duchy that Darian took over. So it does have a history in Erewon.
Yeah, so it's that whoever carries the spear, has a de facto right to the crown. A bit like the Darksaber on Mandalore. Aye.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and it's said to always strike true when seeking revenge.
So I just need to say I'm getting revenge on somebody. It'll hit. Yeah?
Maybe if you let them hit you first, maybe.
Yeah.
Vendetta.
Then slap them with the gauntlet.
Yes,
I will weep my own.
the Darksaber of Mandalore.
Yes, and Cesora, if you're caught pickpocketing, I'm not gonna, you're on your own, right?
I'm not a thief. I'm an assassin.
Just don't get caught murdering anyone, right?
Listen, I will tell you now, I'm taking part in this tournament as much as you are, Beckham.
So not at all, then.
Not at all, not at all, Father, not at all.
Okay, do you want to make any preparations before Milano ships you over?
No, I'm good.
No, all good. I'll just assume you've got enough money to pay for things while you're over there and that sort of thing.
I suppose a bit of a banquet gear. Does Becca possess any banquet clothing?
I gave you all some decent clothing as well as your everyday clothing. I don't think Becca's is as fancy as Sir Elaine's, but
oh yeah,
you can always stitch something together out of a tent if need be.
The best elk fur dress this side of the northern waste.
Yes.
Don't laugh at the elk. I'd love your guts out.
He will. He's a mean old bastard, that elk. Probably because he's like way south and it's much warmer than he likes. Yeah, so you make your way down to the docks. Milano's decided to join you at the games. So he's all like, hello, my friends. My friends, how are you?
Greetings, yes. It will be good if we can make some sustainable trade links with Erewon. They need a strong economy.
This is what I'm thinking. They are quite backward, and we have many fine goods. They probably have many treasures. There is profit to be made, yes.
Yeah, just don't rip them off.
Perish the thought. The slightest thought hasn't even begun to speculate about the slightest possibility of crossing my mind.
I'm wishing you, Milano.
But you are all my good luck charms. I swear, I do as much business with Albion now as I ever did with Mungoda. Yeah, he kind of talks your ear off the entire trip, and by the time you're sort of within sight of Albion's shore, he's steered the conversation around to those charts that you recovered, and how it would be wonderful if you would share them with him, being his such a good friends with him.
Oh yes, the expedition to Kitai. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Mm. But you think about it, and if you think it's good, then I take the charts, I make copies, and we open up yet another new trade route for lots of money.
Who's got the charts? Was that Zazora?
Yeah.
He's the one who nicked him, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, how much could we charge Milano to copy these maps then?
A lot.
Oh, more than he can afford.
Yeah.
More
Might
than he
be
can afford.
might be better off like skimming some of any profits that he makes from his journeys. But yeah, you can think about that between games, and we'll thrash it out then. Right. Milano brings his ship round into port, such as it is. There isn't much of a port near Erewon. Sort of north of the town/village on the coast, there's the ruined remains of one. But in the month or so since you were last here, both Milano and the townspeople have been doing their best to kind of fix it up a bit. So there's a couple of wooden piers. He's able to bring the ship up alongside that. But there don't seem to be many other vessels. A few sort of fishing ships, fishing boats, a few nets spread out, but not a great deal else, really. So you presume that anyone else making their way to the tourney is probably coming across land, which means almost everyone is going to be from Albion. And technically, some of you are as well, even if you live abroad now. Milano sets to with his crew, unloading the ship and loading up mules, but there's no reason for you to hang around with him.
Good. Suppose I should check around and see what's happening.
Okay. You make your way from the coastline up to the town. It's garlanded with flowers and ribbons. There's a lot more people than usual. The town seems to have continued its sort of slow regaining of prosperity since you were last here. Many of the villagers you recognise sort of wave and smile and nod. A couple of them offer you flowers. There's a mummers play going on in the village square, which depicts an entirely inaccurate fight between you and the wolf, which is represented by a big sort of straw sort of puppet, kind of like a Chinese lion puppet costume, but made of straw, and it's clearly meant to be a wolf, as imagined by a 5-year-old who's never seen a wolf before.
I'm going to watch this play. Continue describing the play in detail, please.
Well, it's all very simply done. So it starts off with a man draped in a black blanket, giving a little sort of preamble about how darkness fell across the land, and then different members of the village, dressed as different members of your party, sort of one by one come up and introduce themselves and show off their different capabilities. So the one dressed as Becca, sort of big wooden mask, pretends to pick up heavy boulders, which are just empty sacks filled with, crumpled up bits of parchment paper or petals or straw. And then the sack's been painted grey to look like a rock, so they're pretending to lift these great weights. And the one that's dressed as you, it's sort of fake wooden plate mail armor, which is just kind of bits of wood tied to them with string, and a big comedically oversized sword. Yeah, and Caesura is represented by another man in a black cloak, who's rather confusing with the guy that's supposed to be the narrator. Anyway, they go through your various travails. They defeat Duke Darien, who's a man in a big hook-nosed mask. Yeah, and they bring together the different crystals, which are more pieces of painted wood, and then the big wolf puppet sort of jumps around and menaces the crowd. Then the people dressed up as you smite it with their comedic wooden swords, and then everyone cheers.
I was expecting the one dressed up to me to just be like, I'm so scared.
Well, no, you're heroes. They don't want to make you look bad. At least not on purpose.
'Tis the tale of the mighty heroes and the cowardly Elaine. What? That's not how that went.
This is the day's armor turned brown.
I think Becca will take Gerd, her on her battle elk, and him on a pony. We'll go and visit his mother.
Okay. Yeah, she seems to be well. She's fixed up her house. There's flowers sprouting in the garden, and she's busy planting herbs when you rock up. And Gerd rushes over to her and gives her a big hug. And then, sort of with him under one arm, she comes up to you and asks you how he's doing. Is he eating right? What's he learning? All of those things.
Well, I'll assure her that everything in moderation. Not too much of anything, and he's learning his words and learning his numbers and learning his martial arts as well, and also the skills of a gentleman.
Oh, my son, a gentleman, like his father technically was. Do you need him? Do you need Gerd, or can I spend a little time with him?
Yes, you can stay here. It's just be sure you're back in time for the tourney, Gerd, because you'll need to help Lord Elaine onto his horse.
Yes, ma'am.
For the tilting.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
Russell, wave goodbye, and I'm just drinking the atmosphere.
It's nice after it being such a dour, horrible place when you first got here. It's so bright and cheerful, and most people seem happy, apart from the parish priest, who still seems to be a bit of a skulker with a permanent frown on his face. But everyone else seems pretty happy, and this tournament has brought a lot of money and a lot of people here. So yeah, you've seen a few knights and nobles around. Most of them not dressed in their armor, but dressed in their full sort of livery tunics and the rest of it. There's one man in a bright tartan drinking up a storm in the inn. There's a few knights who are wearing their armor, more mail than plate, with tabards that are blank, so they're just kind of hanging around the place, really. There's a knight from Baron Grizel's barony, which is sort of south of Aldrids. He seems really kind of edgy and tense. There's a lot of tents. One of them seems to be some sort of freak show of some kind. It promises all kinds of weird natural wonders, at least according to the barker outside shouting about it. The tournament's being overseen by the famous Master Roderick of Pellard, who handles the Fey Bridge tournament, so they've managed to get him to do it.
Well, isn't he the greatest knight in the realm?
Was the greatest knight in the realm. He's a bit past it now, but he's well known as an honourable judge. Aldred's fiefdom is here, though Aldred himself isn't. So they've got the knights representing them. Montombre has sent knights. There's a heavy black cloth tent with a grey clad knight who's in his full armour standing outside of it. Whoever's in there doesn't seem to be participating too much, really.
Did we manage to send an invite to our Japanese friends?
By the time they got here, it would be way too late. Yeah. There's a party from Cornumbria. Alain's noble family have sent an entourage here. So the Braylac sort of pennant is flying from one of the tents. There's members of a mercenary company hanging around. So a bit more rough and ready, a bit more barbarian-like than knights, but they seem to be having a good time. And in a tiny, sort of scabby little tent, there seems to be one sort of small party, if it even is a party. But the knight standing outside of it is enormous, like 8 feet tall. In his boots, jet black armor, enormous sword, and it's so still he might even be a statue. He just doesn't move.
We didn't ask who the steward is that Aldred appointed. Is that important?
It's not particularly important, but let me just get you a random name. Just to run the day-to-day.
Sorry, I hate to.
That's all right.
NPC names.
Yeah. Sorry, there's so many random name generators on the internet now, it's not actually a huge headache.
It's a ball of death.
Governor Aston Avery.
Aston Agari.
Avery. Averye. Yeah, and he's here overseeing things, but he's not like leading the revels or anything. He's just, there, really.
Oh, is it? So we've not really been around, have we? So we need to talk to somebody about the politics, don't we? Because things are a bit tense, weren't they, between Aldred and Montombre and Grisale before?
Yeah, and they still are. But everyone has to kind of be on their best behaviour as best they can while they're here. Whether they'll continue to be on their best behaviour once they leave is another thing. But excuse me.
Oh, I hope Milano brought some wine with him, because we might run out of beer, mightn't we?
Yes.
There's a lot of people here.
He probably mostly brought booze, to be honest.
Right, companions, do you have any pressing business? I'll just... Is there anybody you want to talk to?
Well, I think it'd be a good idea to have a look at, see what some of the actual what parts of the tournament we could actually maybe take part in ourselves, other than Sarah Line.
Well, yeah. Well, I suppose you better pick and see Master Roderick, eh?
See if any of us is good with a bow. We could have a go at the archery if there is one. Or I'm sure you could have a go at the longsword, Becca.
Yeah. Perhaps a quarterstaff, that might suit me better.
Or just a plank of wood. A 2x4.
Well, it's a local traditional sport, isn't it?
Yes, but that will be sort of peasants probably doing that rather than the nobles. So less money to be made, but it might be more fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we're gentry now, aren't we? So we have to act up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough land equivalent of caber tossing either, is there?
Where are we going to stay when we're here? We're not going to keep in a tent, are we?
That's up to you.
Tents are free. Inns cost money.
Oh, we're not going to pay for you. I mean, we're their heroes.
Yeah. Well, they'll put you up, or someone will put you up in their house, or Milano can put you up in his tent, which is pretty luxuriously appointed.
Has he got like the 15-meter Grand Burgundian job?
Yes, in the periwinkle blue. And with servants and his crew and everyone else, yeah, he's got a pretty nice setup there.
Yes. So, Cyril Lane, I think now is the time to network, isn't it? To mooch around and make friends and influence people.
Press the flesh.
Quiet. I'm watching the play. You're about to slay the wolf.
Oh, I forgot you.
He's behind you.
He's always in the play, yeah.
Okay, well, competition starts tomorrow morning. There's sort of official competitions for sword, mace, and bow. The peasants are going to have their own sort of little staff matches, if you do fancy having a go with the quarterstaff. Then there'll be the grand melee after the joust. There's prize money.
Imagine things like, I imagine the grand melee and the jousting, you'd actually have to be a knight to take part in those, wouldn't you?
You're unlikely to have the gear that you need to do the joust unless you're a knight. A barbarian might be able to. I doubt they're going to allow a battle ilk. The melee, anyone can join.
What sort of format is the grand melee? Because I know, speaking out of character, there are a few varieties of it, isn't there?
Yeah, in this one, basically they peg out the field. Everyone organises themselves into loose alliances, at least to start with, and then it's last man standing, really.
Do they use wooden swords or just the flat of the blades then?
Flat of the blades.
Right, okay.
But accidents do happen.
Accidents do happen, in which case you'd have to pay a blood price.
And are there ransoms and stuff like that?
So everyone who chooses to participate has the value of a ransom, and if you beat someone else, then they have to pay you that ransom amount, if they can, or payment in kind if they can't.
This reminds me of the one I read about in one of those Nightmare Adventure game books. One of the stories about Treyguard when he does one of these tournaments. Very similar rules.
Yeah, so if you can't pay the ransom, you have to surrender your arms and armour, don't you?
Yeah, or something of equivalent value. Yeah. So you want to be careful.
Yeah. I figure there were rules about enchanted gear.
Yeah. So enchanted weapons add something like 2,000 florins to your ransom. Something ridiculous like that. I think it might not be as much as that. It's quite a lot anyway.
I thought they just banned them altogether and just use a normal one.
Well, you can choose to do that if you want.
Yeah, well, I think you can. You can choose not to.
Yeah.
Use them, or to use them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to see Cyril Lane tilting.
Is everyone actually using an enchanted sword apart from us?
Let's see.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we can borrow some arming blades. We don't have to use them.
Yeah. Do you think there's a few magical weapons and pieces of armor and shields and that around? It's a bit hard to tell because everything is currently, buffed and polished and shiny and new looking. Anyway, maybe after a round of fighting, you'll be able to tell more easily because the magic stuff won't look as dented.
Yeah, or Brother Abbas can press the flesh and check people out.
I wasn't particularly. I wasn't going to use an enchanted sword, but it seemed a little bit unfair. But
Well, that's what I don't then.
considering that other people might be using their own, I don't feel quite as against it anymore.
Well, what about your enchanted harness too? You're going to take that off and put on your old gear.
Enchanted harness? What do you...
Your armor.
Oh. Is it 2,000 florins per enchanted item?
Let me double check to make sure I got it right. So ransom is your rank multiplied by 200 florins, plus half the cash you're travelling with, plus 20% of the value of your armour and weapons, and magical weapons count as being at least 2,000 florins more than they would otherwise cost. So 20% of that would be... What, 40 florins? No. No, that's 400, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
You do have a lot of money.
Yeah. And this is sort of like a rich people's gambling, isn't it, really? It's
Yeah.
We need our money.
You could talk to Marshal Roderick to confirm the details. Like, you don't have to use it. We can leave it on the ship or whatever.
I suppose I could have a chat with him.
Okay, yeah. He's at the royal tent at the moment, assessing knights. So he's kind of stands out because he's in the full royal livery. He's once clearly was a very physically powerful man, but he's starting to age now. His hair's very white and forms a sort of halo around a bald spot on the top. He has a full white beard. So yeah, it'll take a while to reach him, but eventually you do reach the table that he's working at. Come forward. He quickly sort of glances over your coat of arms on your shield. Goes, Elaine of Braylac.
Indeed.
Yes. Are you here as part of your father's retinue that he sent here, or are you here individually?
I'm here for myself.
Yeah. Your younger brother's already registered.
Has he now?
Yes. So let's see. So you're planning to participate then?
Indeed.
Okay. He looks you over. Let's see. What rank are you? Are you rank 5 or 6? I forget.
I am. I can't remember either. I'm going to have to look.
I think I've got it open over here.
Rank 6.
Rank 6.
Yeah, we're rank 6, yeah.
Okay, so that's 1,200 florins to start with. You've got, 150 florins on you. So it's 1275. You've got magical plate mail and a magical sword, right?
Yes.
Okay. If that's all you're using, your ransom would be 2,075 florins.
Aye.
That seems worthy to risk. Especially considering the reward of victory.
Yes.
Don't you think?
you stand to earn quite a bit from beating other people, of course.
What do you think, my companions?
Well, I mean, you won't be short of opponents when they, get whiff of your ransom money. They'll be all over you like flies around a turd.
That is true. I turn back to the man behind the table. What would you say is the average ransom that the other components have upon them?
Oh, we've got a fairly wide range, but I'd say that most of them are people of quality, those that we know anyway. So I'd say most are between 1,000 and 2,000 florins. So a fair match for you, I would say. Though some don't have a particularly high ransom that probably should, but I'm not sure who they are or what to do about them. That giant, for example. I've never heard of him. He doesn't speak. The man with him did all the talking for him. His gear is rudimentary, so I could only really put him in at a ransom of 200 to 400 florins. I went for the upper end just in case, because something doesn't smell right. But I think he'll prove to be a worse match than his ransom indicates.
Right, so are you going for the sword and lance, Elaine?
Seems reasonable. Are you sure you don't want to take part in at least the melee?
Oh, yes, I'll play. Yes, I think I will play. Yes.
Okay, we'll need your ransom then. Is anyone else planning to join in any of the fighting?
Aye.
I was thinking about joining the archery contest.
Okay.
The bow contest.
Well, the archery contest is just a kind of straightforward contest, so you don't need to worry about ransoms there. It's just a nice fat prize purse at the end of it. So let's see.
Yeah, I should introduce myself. Marshall Roderick, Becca Aiku Khan, freelance.
He seems somewhat sceptical from your mode of dress and your tribal dreadlocks and whatever else you've got going on.
I'll get out my my letter of marquee from Baron Aldred.
Yeah, that's good enough for him. They'll let just about anyone join anyway, but it's clear that he's deciding personally whether he approves or not of people as he's going along. So your sword's magical, isn't it? And you've also got magical armour.
Yeah.
And so, right, so yeah, your ransom price is going to be about the same as Elaine's. Caesura, you're rank 5, aren't you?
Rank 5, and I'm going to be using my staff.
Okay. Which staff? What staff?
It's a D6 plus 1.
Plus 1, okay. Okay, so your ransom's about 1,500 florins. Okay, yeah, you all get registered.
Are we going to enter the grand melee as well? That sounds like fun.
You might end up having to take each other on.
That sounds like fun.
Put my name down.
I doubt that, really.
Some PvP.
I'm a bit disappointed that Kieran's not here. Or is he? Hopefully, is he back on the ship? Working with the wet sponge.
There are apothecaries and healers of various kinds, but you should be okay. Right, you just finished registering, and you step outside, and a young man with not much chin and a rather large Adam's apple steps out in front. Elaine, brother!
Brother, I did not expect to see you.
I didn't expect to see you. Your brother's name is Hereward. Okay, just so you know, you probably have quite a few brothers and sisters, but he's a younger one. You're taking part then?
Indeed, I am.
Good, good. Things in Braylac are much the same as they ever were. And your adventures? We don't hear from you often enough. You should write more.
I would just bore you with my exploits.
Oh, not judging from the play in the village, that was you, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed.
So, is it just peasants telling silly stories, or did you really face down a spectral wolf and an evil duke?
I mean, of course, they don't lie, but it's not of any importance, truly.
And these are your companions?
Yes, this is Lady Becca.
Becca the Mighty, they call her. Yes, yes. Your reputation precedes you. And this must be Caesora the Sly? And Abbas the Peaceful, who has never struck a blow in combat.
We'll never hit anyway.
Oh
Fine.
god, it'll be one of these nights. I can tell you.
Object.
Oh dear.
It's a powerful thing in these times to be a man of peace, brother. And you impress me. But for my part, I should be seeking glory here at the tournament, at least to start with. I don't think Father would let me off adventuring as you have. For all the glory and legends and stories you've created, he seems to regard it as all being a little bit uncouth.
Well, if you want some fun, stand with us in the grand melee, and we'll have some fun.
I'm sure you'll give me a sound beating, but I'm sure Father will pay. It's good to be away from Braylac, I can't tell you. Stifling city, stupid intrigues. The Osts and the Vests going at each other all the time, and it's been a bloody business of late, I tell you. Anyway, I should go and practice. I'll see you, brother. Good luck.
And good luck to you too.
Strike true. And he
Strike two.
And he saunters off.
Well, that was awkward.
Is it your brother?
Indeed.
Let's see why you left home.
I mean, he means the best. Don't worry, it's personal.
Okay, so the competitions start tomorrow. What do you want to do for the rest of this day?
Get drunk.
Hooray!
Not get drunk.
Also an option.
Is it so? You were the quiet Caesora. So do you have any plans or ideas?
I have quite a few ideas.
Do they involve
Listen to trouble.
murdering and stealing stuff and people?
No, it involves me telling the tales of our adventures.
Oh yes.
Storytelling. Everyone loves a story.
Yeah, get my drum out, bust out some grooves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you can retire to the inn to tell stories, to drink,
Yep.
to eat,
Yep.
to play the drum.
Yep.
What's Elaine going to spend his time doing? Because that accounts for everyone except him.
You are?
He's
Okay,
living in the
what?
city. That's all.
Do you want to join in? Do you want to join in the drinking eating or the telling of stories? Do you want to train and practice?
Yeah, I'll probably maintain my gear,
Okay.
sharpen my sword.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Elaine. Yes, I gave Gerd the night off. I hope he didn't mind. Yeah, it'll be
The night off, good one.
Ba-dum-bum.
Cheers, Squire.
Waka waka.
all week. I've been waiting for that joke all week.
Bet you have. I bet you have.
I think we
right.
all got that one.
So, Abbas is well into his cups. Becca's drumming away to emphasise Caesora's storytelling. Many of the children from the village have gathered to listen, as have a few others, including a minstrel who's plucking occasionally away on his lute as well. Fortunately, he's not terrible, so that's something.
Makes a change.
You get to the end of one of your stories. What was the last story you told?
How we rescued this fair land.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the best one for the last.
All right, you get to the end of that one, and the guy in tartan with the enormous claymore strapped to his back comes swaying drunkenly over. We heard that one from the play. Tell us a new one, you bastard. And then he takes a huge swig from a mug of mead.
Oh yeah,
You call him moi a bastard?
Tell them a story where we fought the 8-foot crocodile men.
Oh yeah, probably then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell them that story then, Jim. Tell them the story about the dragon people.
Okay, but at the point you get to the lizard people, he stands up again, spilling some of his mead, and goes, "Bullshit!
You must have been mistaken, my friend.
Dragon men! Dragon men, you're pulling me fucking leg!"
Show him the armour with the teeth on the.
Right,
everything.
I'll take my cloak off, Jim, and show my armour.
That's just hundreds of lizards stitched together.
It may be hundreds of lizards stitched together, but at least I fought against a dragon person. And I tell you one thing: have you ever faced death in the face?
Aye, many a time. Do you not know who I am, you bastard?
I don't know who you are, sir. May I ask who you are?
I'm Doron of Glissom.
Does the name ring a bell, Jim?
Not to you, no. Glissom is a tiny kingdom to the northeast of Erewon.
So it's not quite Glasgow then.
Not quite as violent as Glasgow.
Oh,
Yeah, they only have to put up with occasional Viking raids and the odd Fomorian. Yeah, so nowhere near as bad as Glasgow.
okay. Why don't we swap places, my friend? Let's hear a tale from you then.
Right, yeah. All right, he swaggers over, sits down on the stool in front of the fireplace.
As he's walking past, I'll put my foot out slightly to trip him up.
Okay, he's drunk off his ass, so yeah, he just trips over your foot and face plants in a table full of gruel and pottage. Picks himself up, sort of wipes the pottage out of his eyes, and just starts laughing and laughing and laughing. You're all right. I like you.
I like you too.
You know up yourself.
How tall is he, Jim?
He's 5'8", which is pretty tall for medieval Europe.
So he's not like the redhead guy from Game of Thrones then with a big beard.
No, he's a bit like him, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Will you drink with me, you Slavic dog?
I'm not Slavic. Am I Slavic, Jim?
Yeah, pretty much. You're from the fantasy equivalent of Romania in this world.
Okay. I was going to buy you a drink, but that is an insult. Do not talk about my home world like that, please.
Aye, the whole world's a shit heap. Oi! Girl! Get this cunt a drink!
Oh, God.
Do you want to drink with him?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
It's pretty hard work to keep up with him, but at the end of the night, you're pretty much fast friends with the guy, in a way that only people who get utterly shit-faced together can be.
Fuck.
He's actually Prince Doron. He's technically in line for the throne of Glissom.
come to Glasgow, whatever next. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but
So,
he's a
we'll find out.
hard drinker, a hard feaster, a hard wencher. And yeah, he doesn't strike you as royal material, particularly, but he's a good laugh.
Yeah. I'll find out what part of the tournament he's entering.
He's entering the sword tournament
Well, wish
tomorrow.
him luck. I said to him as we part ways, I say I wish him luck for tomorrow.
Hi, and you. Once you get your ass beat, come find me.
Oh, we'll find you. Don't worry. I'll just hear the sort of like the Hogwarts insult.
Okay, do you want to do anything else that evening, or are you going to retire?
I'm going to retire.
Elaine's gear is all polished and ready to go. Yeah, you've all had a bit of a drink, but you should be all right.
Oh, there's not an early morning fight to leave the stomach, is there?
Yeah.
Medieval Alka-Seltzer.
So
Just to hear the dog would be ideal.
after the second cock crow, the bells of the church toll out to call everyone to the green for the first set of fights. So who wants to enter what? It's the sword, mace, and archery competitions today.
I'll enter the swords.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll enter the archery.
Yeah, just give me a sec. I need to figure out who's doing what. So Becca's entering the archery. Sorry, the sword, was it?
Yeah, sword.
And Elaine's entering the sword as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Abbas is entering the archery?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
You're not going to play Cesora?
I'm entering the archery as well.
Okay. This is all right. Okay, for the archery competition.
No love for the mace then.
No love for the mace, no.
I think any of us have now.
The archery competition, they supply you with a bow and arrows for that. And they give you a score, at least until the final sort of face-off. So, let's see how Abbas does. What's Abbas's attack?
My attack is 14.
Okay. So, hang on. Right. Sorry, it's just quicker and easier if I do some of this. Right, you managed to make it to the final three. Right, and actually make it to the last round. Okay, so you're up against you're up against Sir Brandon Webster of the Grisaille Barony. most of the knights tend to kind of eschew archery as being somehow unworthy of them, but he's put a bit of work into it, and so you just kind of got through to the final by default, almost, really, but a couple of brilliant shots, and now you're just facing off. So they set up the targets at the first distance, hand you your arrows. 3 arrows in your own time. Try to strike the center of the target. And fire. Roll 3 times, trying to get under your attack, and tell me what you get.
Failed the first one. I got 19.
Mm-hmm.
Second one hit on a 9. Third one hit on a 3.
Okay, so 2 hits. He also gets 2 hits and 1 miss. They pull the arrows out and return them to you, the ones that they can recover, refill your quivers, and they move the targets back further. A small crowd is beginning to gather, even though this isn't the most glamorous event, because they're just interested to see, because it's getting reasonably tense. So make 3 attack rolls again, this time at -3.
-3, okay. So 1 hit. Yes. Only 1 miss that time. Only 2 misses, 1 hit.
2 misses, 1 hit. Okay. So you get 1 towards the center of the target. The others fly wide. He takes a deep breath, prays under his breath, takes a shot, misses, and then with the second shot splits his first arrow. A great big cheer goes up. So you didn't win, but you came second out of a fairly big field.
I didn't realise Avarice was that good with a bow.
You're given a silver arrow as a reward for second place.
Robin Hood, wasn't he? I'll congratulate the knight that came first and tell him he shot very well.
He seems a little bit reluctant to shake your hand, and the retinue, the other people from House Grisaille, sort of look at you disapprovingly, probably due to the people you associate with. But he does the honourable thing and shakes your hand anyway. The rewards, the first and second prizes, are awarded to you and the knight by the governor's wife. So, yeah, you bow and are presented with it. She has a few nice little words to say. Says it's nice to see a man of the cloth who's also good at this. Makes a change from all these knights all the time. Small talk. Hello, what do you do? Sort of thing. Right. So
Slay monsters, defeat demons, and go home with a smile.
Right. So people entering the sword tournaments.
You never rolled for me there, Jim, did you? You didn't roll for me because I was taking part in the bow as well.
Oh, true. No, I did roll for you. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. No, you went out in the second round.
Oh, thank you very much, Jim.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. I had my D20 in my hand, just waiting for you to say, "Whoa."
Well, if you got to the final, it's just there wasn't much point doing all the lead up. Do you want me to rapidly process the earlier rounds of the sword, or do you want to go through?
I mean, it seems fair considering you rapidly progress the.
Yeah, it's just that there's a bit less interplay with the archery. It's just a static target, so it's not so much of a big.
Oh, whatever you want to do.
Okay. So if you're entering the sword, can you roll a d20 and add your attack with any bonuses?
Oh no.
This is when Jack gets a really good dice roll as well.
26 in total.
Okay.
And I've got 27.
Okay. This is going to take me a minute, so feel free to soft RP amongst yourselves or whatever while I get this sorted out.
Yep, I rolled a great attack dice here, and it's the other way, isn't it? Now.
Yeah.
That's the way we always roll well when it's not actual real targets that we're supposed to be killing, and we're going to tournaments. We actually do well.
Cool. Well done, Brother Abbas and Mini Archery.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's silver arrow, is it? Is that just for decoration, or when you use that in anger?
No, God.
Did we both roll a 3?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Now, I imagine this is for decoration and possibly, if I wanted to sell it later on, I might do. But I think I'll keep it as a memento of our time at the tournament.
Or just to kill a random werewolf that happens past.
A what?
Stab enough people and you'll find a werewolf.
Werewolves. You'll be telling me dragons are real next.
Oh, no.
Just joking. I remember you encountered a dragon.
That's bad news.
Well, who did encounter that dragon anyway?
Yeah, I think Becca was there, but I wasn't playing Becca.
No, I think was it Madrock that encountered. So like climb up a rope or something, didn't you? And there was a dragon just up there.
Oh, that was someone else entirely when I did that.
All right. Okay.
So who knows what happened when you guys went there?
Somebody kept on about the Faybridge tourney. Is that because of the reference it's in the Dragon Warriors book?
Yeah, I mean that's the most famous, the biggest, the most prestigious tourney in Ellersland.
Because I remember it certainly in the paperback edition, there was an example of playing. One of the players said, you might have known me from. I think it was Sir Baitlin or something, known me from the Faybridge tournament or something like that. That's the only reference I've ever heard of it.
Yes, it was referencing, but I think they've built up the backstory a bit. Not much, but a little bit. But there's been a fairly good turnout here, though. There's some important people here, and half of them hate us. They just
making friends wherever we go.
The Grisaille and Montombra people don't like us much at all.
Yes, that knight from Grisaille didn't particularly want to shake my hand when I came second place in the archery tournament to congratulate him. But
in the Grand Melee, they are going to try and kill us. Yeah.
That's why I'm not taking part.
We might have to kill some of them.
I'm gonna spy. I'm gonna squire for one of you.
Okay, well, you two rolled really badly, so you didn't really get to any of the sort of upper ranks in the fights. So there's not a lot of point us playing it out particularly. But so one of the mercenary captains is the first guy to be knocked out. Then Elaine's brother. Then Elaine. Then Doron, mostly because he's nursing a hangover. Then Becca. The Black Knight his opponent just sort of keeps dancing around him and landing blows, but they seem to be having no effect. And then eventually the tournament master just calls it and says, "Yeah, you struck no blows. He hit you plenty. I'm declaring him the winner before we all die of boredom." So then Gerard of Grizel gets knocked out. Then Sir Cuthbert, then Sir Cadron, then Sir Brandon, and the final comes down to the Grey Knight and Sir Warwick. If I can find his...
When did I go out?
After your brother. Like, immediately after your brother. Yes, so the final comes down to Montombra's man, Sir Warwick Dunn, and this mysterious Grey Knight, who soundly trances him and wins.
Huzzah!
When the Grey Knight wins, he goes to collect his prize, a fine golden statue of a knight with sword drawn. He takes off his helmet and the grey hood that's beneath. He has long white hair tied up into a sort of top knot. He's extremely pale, with red eyes.
He's an albino.
What was he in the black tent? Did you say?
He was in the black tent. And once he's accepted his prize and exchanged a few pleasantries, he comes over to your little group who are all nursing your bruises and wounded egos. I don't think you fought to your full potential.
This is a game, isn't it?
It is a game. I think that's why you lost.
Yeah, when it's serious, we don't lose. But well met, Sir Champion.
My lord wishes to meet with you.
Oh, yeah? Who is your lord?
He prefers to remain anonymous. Names can have power. You understand how magicians can be.
What type of accent is he got, Jim?
A timeless, placeless accent.
What BBC pronounced English?
Yeah, pretty much.
Not Transylvanian then.
No.
Well, he said pale skin, red eyes. I
Yes.
thought pale. I was going to ask to check his teeth.
Is this invitation for us all?
Certainly, all of you, should you wish. I think it concerns all of you.
What is it? Is your lord here with you in the black
Yes,
tent?
in the black tent. If you would care to join us just after sunset, he has a few prior engagements.
Then we shall go meet him.
Just after sunset, yeah.
Yes. He stiffly bows, and with his helmet under his arm, he wanders off back towards the tent.
Right, Sir Elaine, hope you have your purse. We have to go and pay our ransom now. Can you lend me? Can you sub me my ransom?
Well, you did beat a few people between you, so we'll call it even.
Yeah, good job.
I thought the ransom was only for the Grand Melee.
No, it's for anything where you go into direct combat with someone.
Fair enough. That's why shooting at long range is helpful. Doesn't have to cost you anything. Other than a few arrows.
Does the ground shake when he walks past Jim, or does it walk with grace?
Sorry, pardon?
Does the ground shake when he walks past?
No. It does shake a little when the Black Knight wanders around, but he mostly stands still.
So this Grey Knight, what's his harness like? What's his gear?
The Grey Knight, he fought using the sword, but amongst his gear strapped to his horse, there's a battle axe, which looks magical.
Does he have a coat of arms?
He does. It's a lozenge instead of a shield, and it has a crescent moon on it.
Somebody had to mention werewolves, didn't they? Full moon.
Also, when he's not fighting, he wears a baldric, which has 3 potions in sort of leather sleeves on it.
I don't want a potion baldric.
I've got this picture of Tony Robbins just strapped to somebody.
Handing them potions. Becca feels a hard swipe on her muscular rump, and Doron appears. You're right. I nearly had you.
Unless you want that cut off, I'd keep it to yourself.
Would you like me with a nice sexy hook?
Hold me back. Someone hold me back.
You're right, big girl. I like him little anyway. Little and curvy.
You in trouble, Zora?
Anyone want to tell me who this uncouth character is?
I'm remiss. Allow me to introduce you. His Royal Highness, Prince Doran of Glissam. Prince Doran, this is the Baronet Elaine of Braylac.
All right, yeah. I heard of you in the stories last night.
Indeed, my reputation precedes me, but I just hear right now that you are a prince.
Who wants to be any of that hanging around in a castle? Fuck that. Do you like a drink, Elaine?
I partake in a few couple of pints every now and again.
Do you want to go and get one?
I don't see the harm in that.
Right. But you want to meet that Grey Knight and his master. A swift one, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, just the one case, yeah.
He's kind of gently probing you about the stories that are told about you, trying to get like a more accurate and less storied version.
I shall tell him that my favourite story is that how I killed Sir Bjorn on a war horse, almost on my own.
I thought your favourite story was going to be about how you vanquished Fenris the Wolf single-handedly.
I know,
That's my favourite story.
That's old news, isn't it? That's old news. Yeah. You know.
That's quite a new story, though. Only happened a couple of weeks ago.
But what message do you want to convey with the story? And if it's about slaughtering a traitor who mucked you about, you know, that's an important story to tell.
Yes. That's a key. Yes, he was a traitor and he died horribly, and there was just little tiny bits of him left afterwards when I was finished.
Pretty sure if I remember, I was there as well.
But you hit the horse in a very unchivalric way, but I'm not going to gloss over that.
That's what they teach you to do when you're fighting a mounted combatant. You strike the horse down and then attack the rider when they're on the floor.
Wouldn't it make sense to spook the horse, then the rider falls on their ass, and then you attack the rider?
Well, yes, we did, yeah.
Ideally, you're supposed to use a spear. Not
you didn't have. No.
My sword was more than adequate.
Yeah, he listens attentively and isn't drinking quite so hard this evening. But then you do have this appointment to keep. Are you all going?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. This black tent. It's reasonably sized. The cloth is very heavy, and when you sort of pull open the opening. There's like 2 or 3 different layers. Then inside there's rugs laid out all over the grass. The Grey Knight is stood by one of the tent poles, still in his armor, apart from the helmet, just sort of loosely holding the magical battle axe off his horse in both hands. And sprawled out on cushions, being attended to by a couple of veiled and hooded women, is another man with pale white hair and pale skin, in a black robe with these crescent moon symbols on it, just sort of lounging while they braid and unbraid and rebraid his hair. Occasionally he'll take a sip from a goblet. Ah, the heroes of Erewon. Come in, have a cushion.
I don't mind if I do.
Can you all make d20 rolls under your perception, please?
I succeed.
Nat 20. I'm drunk.
Yes, got it. 3.
Okay. If you succeeded, you noticed that some of the cushions and portable furnishings and bits and pieces in here, including some of the sort of tableware and so on, are from Duke Darian's castle.
Duke Darian. He's the guy that we killed in the swamp.
Yeah. You're
The castle in the swamp.
wearing his armour, yeah, that fella.
Yeah, that guy. That would have been better to describe him. Guy whose armor I pinched.
Sorry to see you didn't do so well in the games.
It's wise not to reveal one's true strength with all the enemies watching.
Very true.
Yes, we fought off just enough to pay our what's it called, ransom, and decided to call it quits. We didn't lose.
That's what
Very wise. The sort
Some of us came second, and some of us came second place in the archery. Yeah.
Well, true. Slightly more ostentatious. But I suppose a brother of the church can get away with that. So you're the heroes here. It's hasn't gone to your heads too much, I hope.
Does it look like it?
I will forever be a humble man of the church.
Not particularly.
Well, not forever.
Why do you ask?
We all die eventually.
Well, you say that.
We've had some close calls in the past. Very
Well,
true.
Would you care for something to eat, something to drink?
Certainly.
Do you seem like a man of taste? Do you have anything exotic or rarefied? I'm a bit tired of venison stew.
Quite. One of the veiled and hooded women gets up and hurries to bring some food, some honey cakes, some strong cheese, and some fine wine. Please, take as much as you want.
Thank you, although I shan't eat too much. It's not good to sicken yourself with sweets before fighting.
Ah, true. My friend here is on a strict fast before the melee and the joust.
So I assume that you had more to talk to us about than simply cakes and wine.
Yes, but finish your cake first.
Nice cake.
Om nom 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 nom.
So pausing for a minute, like he seems really, really concerned that I eat this cake. My adventurous sense is tingling. Unfortunately, I've already eaten a bit of it, so...
Yes.
Well, we've got about 30 or 40 knights who want us dead outside, so we might as well just eat the cake. Hey.
Yeah. Cake or death? Cake. Definitely. Well, once you've eaten and drunk a little and relaxed a bit, he claps his hands again, and one of the hooded and veiled women disappears off into the back part of the tent and returns with the scroll case. I'm afraid we find ourselves slightly at odds, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I am Ambassador... Well, let's call me Ambassador Verlaine, shall we? I was an ambassador from my lord's lands, Tenebron, to Duke Darien. And we'd made certain contractual arrangements regarding the dispensation of Erewon.
So I can assume that his displacement is perhaps somewhat troubling to you.
Yes, you see, we have a rival claim to this principality, or at least a goodly chunk of it. He tosses the scroll case over to you.
His brother Abbas is with us, right?
Yep.
I'll just pass it over to him.
I'll unroll it and have a read.
Okay, it's all in Latin equivalent and extremely wordy and in legalese. Can you make an intelligence roll on a d20, please?
I'm only fluent in Icelandic. I don't actually have.
Oh, you don't know. Well, someone else has the Latin, don't they? I think.
Yeah. I think
me.
Yes, Kerrigan.
I would have thought being a priest, I should actually.
Well, you're more of a monk, but
right.
it's something to work on. But between you can fiddle it through. I mean, you're probably familiar anyway with church law, so yeah, still make an intelligence roll on a d20.
Okay. 14. Yep, just got it. 13.
Okay, so it's a contract between the domain of Tenebron and Duke Darien, stating that in the event of his unfortunate death, blah 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 blah, having no heirs, he passes administration of the duchy to Ambassador Verlaine, along with all titles, blah 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 blah. It seems legal, but whether this actually has any power in law is a bit of an open question.
Okay. I'll reiterate that to my fellow compatriots. And it seems that Duke Darien did actually draw this up, saying that if he did meet an untimely end, then the administration of the duchy would go to the ambassador and all the land as well.
That's an interesting conundrum, isn't it?
Can Brother Abbas also make a perception roll, please?
Just a 7.
The date seems... Yeah, it's making you uneasy. So you double check the date and then you sort of go back through your own sort of internal calendar and records that you've kept. This paper appears to have been signed about a week after Darien died.
That doesn't make sense.
That can't be right.
Is there a problem of some kind?
Well, I'd say so, sir, yes. The date on this document
Yes.
is the week after the Duke passed.
He
In my
doesn't seem... he doesn't seem
In my
phased
eyes,
in the
not
slightest.
In my
Yes?
eyes, not very, yes. Well, he can't have signed it. He was dead.
Well, yes, he was, but he still signed it.
How did he sign it when he was dead? What are you, a necromancer or something?
Oh, good lord, no. I dabble, but no. However, some of Tenebron's courtiers are. We brought his spirit back. He signed the deed. I mean, you can't very well say that a dead person's word isn't law, otherwise wills wouldn't work, would they?
How can a spirit hold quill
It's not easy.
unless it's got a host? So that means transferring a spirit into a host, which has to be willing, and then you're going to have to get this host to write the Baron's signature, and then you've got to remove the spirit and let it finally rest.
So you wish to contest our right to this land?
Yes, absolutely. Sounds all ungodly, this talk of necromancy in the first place. I find it highly offensive.
Such small and narrow minds. What a shame. I'd rather liked you on first sight. Well, please.
I'm glad I didn't eat any of your cake, sir.
Well,
What is it? It seems on our investigations that Darien acquired the realm through illegal and nefarious means by murdering the rightful lord. So therefore, in essence, he just signed over stolen property to you, as a fence would in any common marketplace.
that's not how it seems to me, but let's cease this discussion before we drop to insults, shall we? It's so uncouth. Besides, I'm sure you must abed before the joust and the melee tomorrow.
I mean, I've been silent this whole time, but I just mentioned. I mean, technically, if it is lawful, we have nothing to dispute.
Oh, would you mind if we kept hold of this just for a little while, just to ratify it?
So long as you swear not to steal it or destroy it, I see no reason why you can't.
Indeed. I mean, my companions appear quite shocked and dissatisfied with this arrangement, but as a baronet, I am sworn to uphold the law, and if this is indeed lawful, then, well, land would be yours.
Good to see you're a man of honor. I leave it in your capable hands.
Yeah, so take the documents and bid my farewell and depart.
Okay.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Think nothing of it. Least I could do.
Let's go.
Okay. So, back to the inn where you're staying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I'll mention as well, whilst we're out of earshot from this matey, do you realise that if these are in fact genuine, this could mean war.
He's still going to have his hat. He basically admitted to resurrecting Darien and getting him to sign a document. There's no law that king, church, or land that would find in favour of his petition. None.
I mean, he makes a valid case. But we take the words of dead men seriously in law.
It's
Why
only spoken when they're alive, not spoken when they're dead.
I suppose they would have to be ratified with a witness. If they don't have any witnesses,
look at there's a King's Council member. There's a Privy Councillor right here. Let's go to Marshal Roderick and ask his opinion.
Okay.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, you go to Roderick's tent. He's sort of dealing with disputes and payments and making judgments and things anyway already. He seems kind of in his element. It's the sort of thing that you would think would drive people mad, but he seems to enjoy this, sort of making rules and passing judgment on people. He listens to your side of the story and looks over the paperwork, bids you to wait while he goes and talks to Verlaine, and then returns. This is all rather beyond me, I'm afraid. I do have the power to settle the dispute, but I couldn't really make any kind of informed judgment on the basis of law. My understanding there doesn't really extend beyond my particular areas of expertise. However, this being a tournament, we could settle it via trial by combat.
I knew that was coming.
So one of us, and by that I mean you, Elaine, would have to take on the sword champion, the Grey Knight.
Yep, sounds about right.
It's not to submission, not to first blood. It'd be to death.
Well, the conditions would be set between you, but from what I understand, they want to fight it to the death.
So it's not really an option, is it? Really, as a last resort.
No.
I can overrule them.
Do you seriously think that fighting to the death would be a satisfactory way of handling a matter of law?
Hell yeah.
I don't want these pale-faced bastards taking any more land. Certainly not here in my beloved Albion.
Where is Tenebron, anyway?
It is... let me just find it.
As a player, I remember what it is, but as a character, I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah. So Tenebron is a reclusive aristocratic lord who rules the Wistren Wood, which is in north-central Albion.
Yes, it's the same bloke, yeah.
Besides, Cyrillane, you did say yourself that it might mean war.
Indeed.
So,
If they,
so
they,
what-
they have a
what
legal
life-
claim and we
what-
have disputes.
One
Then-
life against hundreds of people's lives that might be lost in the futility of war.
So I suppose that leaves only two options. Either the claim is true and it means war between our two nations, or the claim is false and he might go to war with us anyway.
well, he's just a noble, you know. He's not controlling a sovereign state, is he? He's just
It's he's lord of a domain. It seems to be somewhat independent of the rest of Albion around it, but that's as much
You
to
can
do with the
arrange-
fact that nobody wants it as anything else.
But he can arrange a levy, and we have nobody here, or at least no sizable force to defend this this plot of land. It'd be
Yeah, but
quick.
this was the point of the tournament, wasn't it? To recruit people. I mean, there's mercenaries, there are freelancers, there are people who would stay, farmers, craftsmen.
Storytellers.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's just a wolf. He's just come in. He just wants to steal what we have fought for and restored. If he was actually entreating with Darian, then he can't be a nice person either, can he?
Well, I never liked him from the start. He was in a black tent which had 3 layers. He had bitches in black with face masks on, and he's got this grey knight who stands beside him as if he's a little mini mountain. Whatever next?
Well, I'm trying hard not to metagame because I know exactly who he is, but in character though, like if he's entreating with Darian, he can't be anything good about him, can there? Really? Who would entreat with a dark sorcerer?
Exactly. It's like dealing with the devil.
I've had a terrible idea that might help.
Get Cesora to assassinate him? That's a terrible idea.
No, to ask the help of Grizel and Montambre in an alliance.
Yeah, but what are they going to get in return?
Well, I mean, I'm no strategist, but I mean, Erewon is a blank canvas, really. That there's no economy, there's no exports, there's nothing. So at the present, it needs everything to be built up from nothing, and whoever would invest, whoever would contribute, could share in the profits, couldn't they? But I'm just spitballing. I don't want to just give it all up to this ambassador, but I don't fancy getting killed by his champion either.
You're not. You in the sword battles. Do you think he got lucky more than anything else in winning? What's your attack?
Well, we've both got attacks of 20, haven't we? I think
I've got attack 19.
Yeah, you think he got lucky, and you think on an average day you could probably take him, but
yeah, I mean, we were definitely not trying, were we, in the tornado? It was just a bit of a laugh on it. We were just mucking about.
I was trying.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I wasn't trying. It's not a case of whether I can beat him or not. It's whether a case of if it's lawful.
Now, Jim, does this magistrate sort of like say that he wants Sir Elaine to fight his mountain 1-on-1, or is it us as a group up against the mountain?
It'll be 1-on-1.
Right, that's right then.
Okay.
Well, so what do you reckon? Are you going to go for it, or are you going to just like say nay?
Well, I mean, if Sir Elaine can pull this off, it'd be pretty impressive in front of everyone here. You know, we'd win the day, and we'd have people flocking to our banner.
Exactly.
But if he loses, he's dead, and I'm having his harness.
All right, fine. Let's it shan't be to the death.
But now I think Keraden's got some interesting potions, hasn't she?
Yes, you could probably
to
have
help.
a dexterity potion and
I think she said she had.
strength potion.
Did she have elixir vitae as well? I think she said.
Oh, what if you die? Yeah. Let's see.
Because these are no rules. Like this, you know,
Yeah, this is a judicial bout.
trial by combat, no rules.
Yeah.
Magic, potions, do whatever you want.
It would be
Potion of strength she could give you. or you could have with you. Do you want to get this out of the way now, or do you want to fight him tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we want a crowd. Yeah, we want to have.
Yeah.
We can sell tickets. I'm going to sell tickets.
What? For Sir
Well, he's happy to accept the fight. You want to make it not to the death?
Yeah, first to yield.
Okay. Well, the tournament master overrules them and says, "Yeah, first to yield," and suggests that we wait till after. Well, no, before the grand melee and before the joust. Okay, so we'll do this first. So yeah, it's kind of happening before everything else. So literally everyone gathers to watch you fight each other. Okay, so a rough circle is drawn in the heavily trampled grass. The Grey Knight enters from one side in his grey plate mail and holding his axe in both hands, and stands there waiting. You going with sword and shield, or?
Yes. Good old faithful.
Okay.
Before we go out, I just thought, surprised Cesar didn't mention this. I mean, do you want to coat his blades, Cesora?
I don't see why not.
Okay, so we've got poison as well.
What's this that sounds of slumber, Jim?
Puts people to sleep. It's a sleeping potion. Right.
He might have poison blades, so
You have the speed on him, so you've got the initiative. So you circle around each other, waiting for an opening.
I sort of circle around him and wait for him to strike. And then sort of, jump out the way and try and, hit the sword out of his hand.
It's got an axe.
Do that.
Two-handed
the axe.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So you circle around each other and you wait, and then he makes this swing and you dart in and go to try and knock it out of his hands. Take... Because you're going for a sort of special attack, I'll take 14 away from your attack and roll. What?
you could just hit him.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh, fucking hell.
They always happen at the best moments.
Right, so he lunges out with this axe and swings it for you. You sort of leap to one side out the way and strike out at the axe and at his gauntlets to try and get him to drop the axe. Valandar's blade sings in your hand and glows with a brilliant light and cuts clean through his magical axe in the center of the haft, and it just crumbles away in his hands.
Whoa, I've never seen that before.
He's so surprised you get another go.
Okay.
Run him
Follow
through
up.
the dog.
I'm not going to run him through. I'm going to knock him to the ground.
Okay, make a attack roll at minus...
Oh
11.
my god!
Crit again?
I rolled another 1!
Okay, so that's clean through the armor. Roll damage twice, adding it together.
That's gonna hurt. 2d8 plus 6.
I did. I rolled a 12.
Did you roll both times and add it all together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You plow into him and knock him smartly onto his ass with the sword and put it at his throat. The helmet's sort of ridden up slightly, along with the hood that he wears underneath, and where his skin's exposed to the sunlight, it's starting to frazzle and burn, and thin wisps of smoke are coming off it. I yield.
Louder.
I yield. The land is rightfully theirs.
Very well then. I'll sheathe my sword.
Okay, he sorts out his helmet and his hood and skulks away in disgrace.
Bloody hell, that's impressive. And everyone saw that, didn't they? Everyone's and I'll use my intimidation, and I'll be eyeballing all of Grizel's and Montebray's knights. You saw that. You all saw that.
Although there was something else that I saw. Anyone else see that? When I knocked him to the ground, his helmet came loose and smoke began to billow out from his cuirass.
Pardon?
Is there any chance that we would know what that means? I know what it means.
Everywhere has their tales of vampires, so yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Particularly Caesura, whose land is plagued by them.
Yeah, the night walkers, the triple layer darkened tent, only come out at night. Hoods and veils and hoods and masks.
Crescent moons on their tunics.
They are night walkers.
I let him live.
But you did make him look like a twat in front of everyone here. So well played.
Right. So that's settled, and you're much the talk of the town again, especially after such a poor prior showing with the swords. Do you want to do a joust?
I kind of feel I posted the crit that I did on the board because I kind of feel like I need to validate that. Oh my god, that was awesome! 2 1s in a row.
So it's just nice when things come together like that sometimes.
Do the joust, yeah. Everyone would be terrified of you now.
Yeah, that holds true. And you do pretty goddamn well throughout the joust tournament. To the point where you're in the finals. So Warwick Dunn, one of Montombra's men, is the last man you have to face.
Montombra.
Yes.
I remember him.
A schemer and a conniver, the Elfin Earl.
It's worrying that his lieutenants are all double R'd, aren't they? That's concerning.
1 second, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I think we have to pay a visit down to Wistrom Woods, won't we?
At some point, probably.
To
Yeah.
Tenebron and thank him for his hospitality in kind.
I brought you this sword. Stab. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure I like it. It doesn't go with my spleen.
I'm back.
Okay. All right. So you get your horse armoured up and move yourself into position. Carpenters have thrown up a long railing and you've been charging up and down it all day. And whittled down the competition to Sir Warwick Dunn of Montombra's domain. He wears bright, shiny, silvery armour, which has been polished and buffed between each bout. and his helmet has several long plumes on the back of it. His shield is a rounded semi-conical shield, and his horse wears the same shiny-looking armor. He's been a workman-like jouster. It's been enough to get him this far, but he lacks style. Right.
He lacks grace.
Yes.
Right, put him on his arse.
In fact, he has a funny face.
Let's try out the jousting rules then.
Yeah. And you got your warhorse, haven't you, with you as well?
Yep, so you have a proper warhorse and all. Right, so jousting rules are slightly different to normal combat. So yeah, you're given lances, and then a flag will be dropped. You will charge towards each other. And hit rolls are made simultaneously. So first to win 3 exchanges. Right. You have exactly the same reflexes, so you both leap to the charge in the same instant that the flag drops and thunder towards each other. Are you trying to do anything fancy, or are you just going to try and slam him out of his saddle?
No, just aim the lance square into the center of his chest.
Okay, what's your defense?
Roll d20.
No, what's your defense?
My defense is 14.
14. Okay. Right, his defense is 15. Okay, he misses you entirely. Did you hit?
No, I miss as well.
Okay, so you thunder past each other without either of you landing a strike. And wheel your horses around and make another charge. So, same roll.
Did you hit?
No, he missed.
I missed as well.
Okay. People start booing and throwing apple cores and stuff at you. Right. He seems faster than he did earlier in the bouts, which is a tad unsettling. You'd think he'd be getting tired, but yeah. Right. Horses hooves thunder, and you're at each other again. Okay, roll to hit.
What was your defense?
15.
I'll say I've got to add this up.
You need 4, don't you, dear?
4. Okay, yeah, I miss.
Okay, he struck you this time. Roll a d6. If you get a 1 or 2, it hits your shield.
Two.
Okay, so it glances off your shield and fails to unseat you. Roll again. He misses.
I also miss.
Again. Miss.
Miss.
Again.
It.
And he missed. Right, so you strike him. Get past his shield. Right. So he's hit. So that's... Right. You unseat him. He's thrown from his horse onto the ground, cursing and shouting.
Whee!
And then, after he's collected his wits, climbs back onto his horse. So you're 1 ahead. So if you get another one, you win. Roll your attack.
Miss.
He missed as well. Again.
Miss.
Miss. Again.
Miss.
Hit. Roll for your shield.
Oh no. 2.
Clang! Close. You're sort of thrown back in your stirrups. Your horse is starting to work up a bit of a lather from all this exercise, but it's time to go again. Roll. He misses.
Miss.
Again. Miss.
Miss.
Again. Miss.
Hit.
Yay. Right, again you strike past his shield and smash into the chest plate of his armour, shattering the lance. So... He's hurled from his horse onto the ground again, so you win.
Hooray!
Which is the most honourable part of the tournament. So a great cheer goes up. Everyone's very impressed. And you're presented with a golden statue in the shape of a horse.
Glorious.
Right. How are we for time?
So, Abbott, how's your silver arrow feeling? I mean, it's good, you know. Shame it isn't gold.
I get some gold paint and just paint it gold. No,
You're gonna find gold paint then.
no, that's true.
The Vatican. Do you still want to enter the Grand Melee together? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, because we can
That's
beat
what I
up.
sound like. Ian. I sound dumb.
We can beat up some of Montombra's men, can't we?
Yes. Okay, so the remaining knights who aren't too injured to participate gather. The apothecaries and priests check you over to make sure none of you are too hurt. Are you all entering?
Yeah, why not? I think.
Yeah. Abbas as well?
Yeah, go on then. Be good for a laugh.
Okay, you all take the field. Several of the other knights sort of come together in teams of a sort. Hereward, your brother, comes over to join you. And seeing that you have such a strong team, all the other knights, save the Black Knight, team up. Right, the horn sounds, and people move to the attack. So this squad of knights approaches you, while keeping a sort of wary eye on the Black Knight, who is just kind of making the earth shake as he stamps along towards where the two parties are going to meet. Caesura.
Is that Black Knight the one that's the giant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So what, they've all teamed up against us.
Yeah. Because you all seem to team up. So, Caesura.
Good luck. Has Dawn teamed up with us, or is he on their side?
He's teamed up on the other side. With a shrug
Sweet.
and a laugh.
I should swear at him. I say, "Hey, you're no good, twazzock. Get your ass over here."
Later, hen.
Yeah. I knew you were a girl when I saw the skirt.
Do you want to come and check for yourself?
Gonna
Right.
go for Dawn.
Okay, so you're going to charge up to meet Doran.
Yep.
Okay. His defense is 9. So, roll against that.
So that's 9 away from my attack. I get 7.
Okay. Roll to bypass armor.
I've got combat technique, armor piercing +1.
Yeah, that's already worked into your weapon stats,
Right.
or should be.
Right. Okay. I'm just using a staff. I'm not using my
Okay.
my ladder.
All right.
6 + 1. So here we
So,
go.
yeah.
I get it. First I get is a 6.
Okay, and damage?
5.
5. Okay, you strike him a goodly blow with the quarterstaff, but mostly because he's largely ignoring it to try and get past and attack you. Elaine,
Yes.
who do you want to take on? There's the Black Knight, there's Doron, there's Gerard of... Where is it? Gerard of Grisaille. There's Cuthbert the Younger from Baron Aldred's house, who weirdly has teamed up with them. There's Brandon, who's also with Grisaille, and Cadrin of Cornumbria, and the Black Knight.
Is my brother not in here?
He's on your side,
Oh. Yeah.
at least for now.
Might have beat you up. Yeah, let's go after Cuthbert the Younger.
Okay.
Never liked him.
Fresh-faced little brat. Okay, his defense is 11.
Okay. Yes, I hit.
He fails to deflect with his shield, so roll to bypass armor.
I roll a 6.
6. Okay. Strikes his chain and fails to penetrate it. Must be magical.
Cuthbert.
See, you're not the only one who can gain spoils from venturing. Becca's go. Are you muted? Or is it just
Do what?
slow? It's Becca's go.
Oh, Becca.
Oh, sorry. You cut out then. Is it? So is Sir Warwick done free? I should rush over towards him.
He was too injured after the joust to
Yeah.
fight.
Gerard of Grisaille.
Okay. Gerard.
I said, I've got a message for your dad. Whack.
Where's his stats gone? Oh, there, yeah. He's actually the son of Baron Grisaille. His defense is 9.
Oh dear, I think I might have missed. This is 9. So it was. Yeah, I missed.
You missed. Okay, he ducks under your swing and starts whirling his ball and chain around, ready to attack you. Brother Abbas.
I will. I don't really fancy going up against the Black Knight on my own. That's just asking for trouble. Are there any of Montombra's men in the squad that's come towards us?
So Warwick's out.
Sir Brandon Webster.
He's with Grisaille, who's an ally of Montombra. No, Montombra's men are out.
Okay. I'll go for whoever looks the weakest.
Okay. That was probably Sir Brandon.
Okay.
Okay, his defense is 8.
Damn these knights in their armor. So 8. Attacks. Under 6 I need. Oh, just made it.
Okay.
And roll armor bypass, so that's use the spear, so that's 2d4 plus 2. I rolled a 9 for the armor bypass.
Okay, and damage?
Damage is 4.
4. Okay. You strike him a goodly blow, forcing him to twist around and around as he tries to regain his balance. Right. Hereward moves alongside Elaine. Who was Elaine attacking again? It was
Younger.
Cuthbert, yeah. So your brother moves up alongside you to flank him, but fails to land a strike. Right. What's Caesaur's defense?
10.
10. Right. Doron swings at you with his sword, but you easily kind of jump over it and get into a better position to strike him again. He's still drunk. Who was Gerard fighting? Who was fighting Gerard?
Sir Becker.
Becker. Okay, no, misses you. I should have written down who you were attacking. Never mind. Brandon was fighting Abbas, wasn't he? What's Abbas's defense?
7.
7. Okay. No, misses you as well. They're not doing very well. Okay. The hulking Great Black Knight comes up behind Kadrin and smashes his fist on top of the knight's helmet, which caves in like something that caves in very easily. That's medieval.
Like a pudding.
Pumpernickel.
Like a pudding. Yes, the helmet caves in like a pudding, and the guy collapses to the ground. New turn. Caesura.
Right, I'm going to do a fancy move. I'm going to sort of like spin my my staff around I'm sort of like spinning it around.
Yeah.
And then at the right momentum, I'm going to sort of like trip up Doran with from his feet with my staff.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So
take 9 away from your attack and roll.
2,
Okay. Armor bypass roll
6,
and damage.
6 again.
Okay. Right. Yeah, you twist your quarterstaff between his legs and pitch him over onto his back, making his kilt fly up, unfortunately, for everyone concerned. Right, Elaine.
Take another swing at Cuthbert.
Okay.
Cuthbert, my mortal enemy.
For now. Right, his defense was 11, so go for it.
Yes, I hit.
Okay, armor bypass roll.
This time I rolled 10.
Okay, and damage.
I do 6 damage.
6. Right. You move quickly and rapidly around him, landing strikes against him, left, right, and centre, bruising him even through the armour, but he's still got some fight in him. Becca?
Yeah. I should try to lamp Gerard.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, missed again. 17. 2 17s in a row.
He's just too fast for you somehow. Maybe you shouldn't have had that third bucket of mead last night. Right, Abbas.
I'm going to continue attacking the knight.
Brandon, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, his defense is 8.
Okay. 6. Oh, a 1.
Oh, crit. Okay, so automatically through armor, and roll damage twice.
8 damage.
8 damage.
Altogether.
Okay. Yeah, you cut him even through his armor, and he slumps and raises his hand to yield. So that's Brandon out. Right. Doran just rolls and lashes out with his claymore, trying to hit Caesura. Caesura's defense was 10, wasn't it?
Yep.
And what's your armor rating?
It's 2. I think just 2, yeah.
Okay. Right. He catches you with the flat of the blade. This is sort of like sparring damage, really, but we'll count it against normal hit points. You take 8 wounds from the strike. The flat of the blade catches you right in the gut and knocks all the air out of you and possibly part of a lung.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Gerard continues to fence with Becca. What's Becca's defense?
My defense is 15.
You are struck. What's your armor rating?
5.
His Morning Star, even though he's spinning at a high speed, just clanks right off your armor. You don't really even feel it. Right. And Cuthbert is fighting Elaine. What's Elaine's defense?
14.
14. He's got no bloody chance against you. Yeah, you're just knocking a sword aside like you hardly even have to think about it. And your brother lands a blow on him. Where's my D8 when I need it? Right, and lands Cuthbert a goodly blow. He's definitely flagging much more, and he'll be out. The Black Knight reaches out, grabs Cuthbert by his tabard and the back of his chain shirt, lifts him up off the ground, and throws him one-handed over his back. He lands with a clang on his head and lays still.
I wanted to knock Cuthbert out.
So, new turn.
Black Knight, you have robbed me of my victory.
Caesura.
Who stabbed me? Was it Doran or was it someone else?
Doran smacked you in the guts with the flat of his claymore. The
You
Black
know he's
Knight
on
is
his
still weirdly silent.
Okay, how tall is this Black Knight?
He must be 8 foot tall, but how much of that is his boots, you don't know.
He's got really big boots.
Yeah. Might be Tom Cruise on stilts and just in their helmet.
What do you mean Danny DeVito? Danny DeVito says.
Tom Cruise on 4
Thanks
foot
for that.
stilts.
I'm now imagining like a midget with really big boots on.
Right, I'm waiting to see what Doran does, and I'm going to counter-attack it. So if he
Okay.
comes at me with a charge of that, I'm going to sort of like sidestep and use my quarterstaff to trip him up again.
Okay, well, he's just trying to get up this turn, so you can just trip him again.
Yeah, I'll just trip. No, I'm going to be kind and let him get up, and then I'm going to see what he does when I'm going to counter-attack it.
Okay, well, it takes his whole action to get up and ready his sword again, really, so...
All right, okay. Well, how far is away the Sasquatch from me?
He's behind Gerard.
So if I was to sort of like attack him with my staff, would I be able to get reach?
You got reach on the staff, yeah. If you move a little bit and lash out with the staff, you should be able to reach him.
I'll try and trip him up with my staff for that.
Okay. Right, the Black Knight. His defense is 10.
Oh, same as mine. So I have to get under 8. Here we go. I get a 4.
Okay, so you strike him, and you were trying to trip him. Roll d20 and tell me how much under your strength it is. So the difference between your roll and your strength.
Well, my strength's 10. I'm going to roll a d20. I got 4, so 6.
Okay, you ram your staff between his legs. Not like that, and push, but he's completely immobile. You strain with all your might, but you can't trip him.
Yeah.
Right. Elaine.
Black Knight. I have my vengeance on you for robbing me of my satisfaction against the dreaded Cuthbert. Avathi.
Okay. His defense was 10. He's used it all, so just roll under your attack.
Yes.
Okay, and roll to bypass armor.
I roll an 8.
Okay, and roll damage.
Whoa! That's 11 damage. I rolled a full 8.
Okay, and can you roll d20 and tell me if it's under your perception, please?
It is not.
Okay. Right, you ram your sword between the plates of his armor, and you think you strike home, but he doesn't even acknowledge the wound. It's like he's insensible to pain.
This is odd. There's something strange about this man.
So it's basically like the mountain out of Game of Thrones, is it, Jim?
Dressed as the Black Knight from Monty Python.
Oh.
But yeah, he's huge. Right, Becca's go.
Okay, right. So I'm getting annoyed now with. So stand still, Gerard. Let me hit you.
Anything for a lady.
Well, that'll do it. 7. So that's a hit.
So yeah, because his defense hasn't changed. Okay, roll to bypass armor.
8.
Yep, and damage.
Oh, 11.
11. Oh, okay, yeah, you land a really solid blow that almost is enough to lift him out of his boots. Oh yeah, he's knocked backwards so hard he actually stumbles into the Black Knight. And then sort of looks up by lifting his head behind him and makes a small sound, something like meep. Abbas. Brother Abbas.
Who's left?
Gerard, who's up against the knight, and Doron, who's got up after being knocked down.
I'll have a go at Doron.
Okay. His defense is 9.
Yikes, this is going to be fun. Under 5 then. Completely missed. Rolled a 14.
Okay. Yeah, he lifts his sword back to block you, and then sort of watches what's going on, trying to figure out who he's going to attack. But he's kind of thrown off by the fact that all his allies are gone.
Ian, you're echoing.
Hereward also goes for Doron. Manages to land a blow. And it's enough to take Doron finally out of the fight. Abbas provided just enough distraction for Hereward to get in and lay a blow into his guts. Doron collapses, wheezing and throwing up mead. Right, which leaves Gerard, who wheels about and tries to attack the Black Knight. Right. He swings his Morning Star at the Black Knight. The Black Knight catches the spiky ball on the end in one gauntleted fist, yanks it out of his hand, and then beats him down with the handle on the end of the chain and tosses the weapon aside.
Ooh.
So there's only the Black Knight left. Caesura. And the crowd's gone quiet, watching him just kind of demolish the others. Caesura.
I'm thinking. I'll start like circling him and waiting. What's he using as a weapon? Just his fist.
At the moment, he's just using his fist, but there's a huge two-handed sword strapped to his back.
Right. I'm going to circle him and wait for him to make a move, and I'm going to counter-attack it.
Okay. So you're holding your action.
Yep.
Elaine?
Yeah. This. I'm going to strike again, but like, I don't know, try and get it through the links of his armor.
Okay. He's got no defense left, so just roll under your attack.
Wow. Yes.
Okay. And roll armor bypass.
I roll a 9.
Okay. And damage.
8.
8. Alright. It's like smashing your sword into a wall. Like the blade vibrates and makes your fingers numb. But it did smash through the side of his armor where you were aiming. Make another perception roll, please.
This time I succeed.
Right. Yeah, you did get clean through the armor, but what stopped your blade was his flesh beneath.
I don't think this is a man. No man has flesh as strong as steel.
Cries go up from the crowd at this revelation. Becca?
Oh, so is it just a Black Knight left?
Yep.
What? As I'm sort of like circling this guy and like getting ready to dodge if he tries to lash out at me, the guy that he actually hit on the head whilst I was fighting Cuthbert, distracted, what's he up to?
Laying there, bleeding out of his helmet.
He looks really badly injured.
Yeah.
I think he killed that man.
More cries go up from the crowd, and the steward, the tournament master, starts gathering a few men together. But what's Becca doing?
All's fair in love and war. I think I'm going to clear out Erewon, I think.
Okay.
Because there's just one winner, isn't there?
Yeah. He's not expecting you to do that, so you just roll under your attack.
Yeah. 6, yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. Armor bypass.
Oh, 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And damage?
Ouch. 11.
11. Okay, yeah. You
Whack.
you blindside him and smash him hard with your claymore. If his armor was any weaker, he'd be down. And as it is, yeah, he's gone green in the face and is making sort of noises.
Don't turn your back on your enemy.
Yeah, lesson well learned. Abbas.
I'm going to go straight at the Black Knight.
Okay. He's got no defense left, so just roll under your attack.
Okay. Yep. Oh, 1.
Oh, so straight past armor and roll damage twice.
$15 points of damage.
15, nice. Okay. Your spear blade punches straight through the armor and hits whatever it is beneath. and sparks fly up as if you're striking a flint against steel to start a fire. He is being hurt, you think, but it's hard to know how bad. Right. Hereward lashes back out at Becca as best he can, which isn't very. What's Becca's defense?
15.
15. Okay. Yeah, he feebly waves his sword in your direction and fails to hit you.
You can yield if you want.
The Black Knight hauls out his enormous sword in one go and brings it down in a hard swing down towards Elaine. But his gaze, if that's his gaze, through the slit in his helmet, is fixated upon Hereward. What's Elaine's defense?
My defense is 14.
14. Misses you by 1. So this enormous sword, which is very crudely made but big and heavy, comes whooshing down right next to you and smashes into the ground and sinks like the tip of it's a good 2 feet into the dirt.
Waiting for that.
You're right. That's not a man, is it?
And Suzora, you were waiting.
Yep.
So what
I
do you
am going to basically, as I'm circling, I'm going to whack his helmet off
Okay.
if I can.
Yep. You can try. So he's got nothing left to defend himself, but you're trying to do something poncy. So take 3 away from your attack and roll.
4.
Okay. Right. Yeah. You smash your quarterstaff against the underside of his helmet and tear it all the way off. The face beneath is a crudely made lump of clay, with only the vaguest impression of a face, just sort of palm-shaped eyes pushed into the clay, a crude slab for a nose. The mouth is just a crude cut in the clay.
Or like a golem.
Gods, what is that monstrosity? Crowd gasps.
Yeah, the crowd does gasp and begins to fall back, some people running away in terror. Roderick and a bunch of men-at-arms are gathering and trying to push their way through the crowd. They'll be here next turn. So, new turn. Suzora. I know you just went, but that was a held action.
No. I'm circling him again.
Okay.
Trying to confuse him.
He's not a fast mover.
Yeah.
Elaine.
Yes. Seeing as I'm just going to try and run him through.
Okay. His defense is, because he's actually got some this time, is 10.
So 10 away from... Jeez. Maths. Okay. 19 plus 3. Take away 10. That means I have to roll 12 or under. I did. I rolled an 11.
Okay. So you strike him. Roll to bypass armor.
4, 5, 7.
Okay. You move to run him through, but your sword just strikes through the metal into the clay beneath and twists almost out of your grip. But you manage to recover.
Just holding onto my sword. Oh.
Yeah. Becca.
Yeah, I'll ignore Erewon and try and destroy this
Thing.
inhuman golem creature. I'll go low. I'll go with the legs. Try and cut his legs out from under him.
It's got no defense left, so just roll for attack.
4, that's a hit.
Okay, and
Armor
armor
bypass.
bypass.
Oh, only a 5.
Okay, your sword sort of rings off his plate mail like a bell, but doesn't cut through it, and doesn't strike him hard enough to trip him. Abbas.
Keep at the golem.
Okay, go for it. Got no defense left.
Okay. Oh, another 1.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's straight through everything. Roll damage twice.
£10 of damage.
10 points of damage. Okay. It's starting to shudder and shake. There's dust pouring out of the joints in the armor. They think one more good solid blow from anybody might be enough. Hereward strikes at it with his sword, but it just bounces off its chest as he's still trying to get his breath. And the Black Knight tries to strike at Hereward, but it's so sort of tangled up in all of you that it drops its sword. And it's just kind of trying to reach for him with its hands, but you're all sort of repeatedly smacking on it. Right. The tournament master and his posse finally arrive with spears ready to do battle, but you guys are faster than them. So, Suzora?
Eat my staff. Smack it right between his eyes. So I'm like bringing it right down.
Yep. Take 9 away from your attack and roll.
Three.
And armor bypass
7.
and damage.
6.
Right, there's cracks appearing all over it now, and there's a weird sound like chanting in a language you don't know issuing through all the cracks, but it's still sort of judderingly, shakingly trying to move. Elaine.
Seeing as my sword's like still inside of it, I'm going to try and pull it straight down.
So onto the
through
sword,
its-
or put the sword down.
Or my sword down through him.
Okay, I thought you would pull him onto the sword, but yeah, that works too. Okay, it's got no defense left, so roll your attack.
Wow, 2. Yes, I hit.
Okay, armor bypass.
Uh, 8.
And damage.
6.
Okay, right, yeah, that's enough. Your sword finally bites through to the sort of hollow interior of the clay and smashes and cuts whatever it is that's inside there, and the whole thing just kind of comes to a grinding halt and then collapses like broken pottery. So everyone's silent for a moment, and then there's more screaming from the crowd and people backing away from something.
Abandon the tournaments. Let's go.
Yeah, you're right, Hereward. No hard feelings.
No, it's fine.
Did you have a rest here?
Yes. The tournament master agrees. Yes, this is over. What is this fuss?
I'll be back to settle the score with you, Cuthbert.
He's dead, Cuthbert. I think. Don't worry about that.
It turns out some man in the crowd slit his own throat, when the Black Knight fell. But it's agreed to put the tournament to an end. Everyone's escorted back to their tents, or wherever they're staying.
Was it the man who came with the golem, by chance?
Yes, it was.
No, I say that's killed the mood, didn't it? That?
It has killed the mood of victory somewhat, but who knows what all that was about. But it's declared that the prize will be given to your group as you saved the tourney from any further damage. A couple of the knights that the Black Knight attacked were killed, but others were just injured. And your deeds have impressed a great deal of the sort of martial nobility. of the more extended land and have allowed for many more recruits and mercenaries and wandering knights to come and defend Erewon. They see it as a chance to prove their mettle and to get some reflected glory from you. Before we wrap up, it being after 10, is there any follow-up sort of end stuff you want to do, or any plans for downtime?
I'm going to be meditating for at least an hour, get my health points back, and then go drinking with those.
Okay.
What happened to the knight you got hit on top of the head?
Which one was that? That wasn't Cuthbert.
Cuthbert the Younger.
No, not Cuthbert
No,
Younger. The knight you got hit on top of the head by the Black Knight.
Yeah, it was Cadron of Cornumbria. Yeah, he's all right. He's not dead. He was just knocked out.
When was it Cuthbert the Younger?
He was closer to death, but we'll say he lived just.
So, which one's actually died?
It was. I think it was the first one. I've deleted him off the page, so I can't actually tell you. Brandwin, I think was his name, or Brandon.
Brandon. I can't remember.
No,
I was trying to keep track of all these
Brandon
terrible names.
Webster.
Yes.
What did the Black Knight do to him?
He's the one that got basically his neck broken by being thrown over by his head.
Horrid.
Right, so there's the prize money, the golden horse statue, the silver arrow, experience points. Right, and Caesaro's going to go drinking and whatever else with Doron. What's Abbas going to spend his time doing?
Meditation, I think.
Okay. You may well level this time. What's Becca going to be doing?
I think I need to get some. I want to work on my sword, but
Yeah.
that's not going to happen anytime soon, is it? Really, it's a long term.
Yeah, it's a long-term thing, but there's a lot of knights here you can learn from, which is a good basis for doing that.
Is it? So I think I should try to gauge. I'll try to identify the people who are going to stay.
Yeah.
Do a bit of a morale, recruitment drive, and grooming, but not like that.
Yeah.
And also to refine my naturalistic fighting style.
Yeah. To make it a bit more, a bit more refined. What's Elaine doing? Spending some time with family? Or?
Suppose I should see them.
Well, yeah. Hereward is here, so.
I'm sort of like playing it off that I'm a bit annoyed with them for some reason. I don't know. I kind of figured because like I didn't immediately go to sort of like see them, and then I was like, why would I not go to see them? Doesn't make sense. I don't like contradictions, so I kind of went, okay, maybe I don't want to see them because I'm annoyed with them for some reason.
He mentioned a subplot before I hit him in the face, Hereward, like the Osts and the Vests.
Yes, Braylek is the two halves of the city are at loggerheads in a kind of Yorkshire, Lancashire sort of way.
What's those two famous fighting families, like the McAvoys and the...
yeah, and the... Yeah, I know the ones you mean.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the ones from Romeo and Juliet for a second.
The McCoys and
Capulet. Montagues and Capulet, that's from
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Doron seeks you out after spending a night drinking with Cesora, and you've done so much for the other kingdoms. I wondered if you'd help me with mine. There's gold and glory in it for you. And the favour of a future king. Which is our hook for next time. Right, so we'll call it there. And I'll sort out all the XP and everything for downtime. And then in theory, we're back on Thursday. So yeah, just let me know as soon as if you can make that.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Jim. That's a great tournament.
A little bit wooden, the combat, but yeah, that's old school games for you. But yeah, it was fun. Cool. Yeah, hopefully see you Thursday, guys. Take care, everyone.
Okay.
Sang.
Cheers.